Do you know what's in your water? The River Avon behind me and other bodies of water are being drastically affected by increases in water pollution. What does that look like? This water sample will help us visualise there's more in our water than you think.
So we decided to go to the laboratories at the University of Bath to see if there's any more to our sample than we can originally see. After spinning down the sample for a few minutes using a centrifuge, a brown pellet formed, which we compared against distilled water. This comparison shows that there is more to our water than we maybe first thought. But what exactly is present in our waterways, and how do they negatively impact water health? Before we delve into the science, we wanted to talk with some local residents to gather their opinions on the current state of local water. So we headed into Bath City Centre to gather opinions on water pollution and its causes.
What do you guys think of the local water quality?
I wouldn't say it's great, especially when it floods. You can tell it's not lovely.
Not done much research into it myself, but from visuals, yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best for poor quality.
Yeah, fair enough. Are there any particular reasons why you have these opinions about the water? Is it just from visualizing it?
I think visuals definitely, especially when it gets quite choppy up by the weir, the scum that gets produced is quite
And it even comes down this way as well.
and it gets pushed down.
Could you think of what might be the biggest cause of pollution in local rivers, if you could think of one?
I'm guessing runoff from other companies, or I don't know how far a landfill is from here, but yeah, just people not disposing of things correct. Because I wouldn't say I don't witness people throwing stuff in. So yeah, it has to be I think it is a bigger problem than just civilians, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys know anything about nutrient pollution?
No idea.
No.
What do you think of the current quality of the local water around here?
I'm not very familiar with the local water, but I do know that water quality is a problem at the moment. And I think it's really important that we should address any issues that there are for the local wildlife and to promote biodiversity.
What some of the biggest factors might be?
Well, from what I've seen on the TV news, and Fergal Sharkey does a lot of speaking about this matter, I understand that flooding and rainfall is a big issue now. With global warming, we're seeing a lot more excess rainfall, and what we know is that the sewage systems can't cope.
Do you know what nutrient pollution is?
Nutrient pollution, I don't, but I imagine it's the wrong things being in the water.
From speaking with local residents, they raised many important issues, but nutrient pollution appeared to be something they knew little about. We believe that this area of pollution isn't given much commercial attention, but could silently be on the rise, causing many issues in local water. Nutrient pollution is characterized by excessive levels of phosphate, ammonia, and nitrates in the water. The levels of these nutrients can be easily assessed using water quality testing kits. The charity Bristol Avon Rivers Trust completes annual water testing called the Bristol Avon River Blitz. They work with volunteers to test waters in Bristol and the surrounding area and analyse nitrate and phosphate levels. From all 293 locations that they sampled, 89% of them showed either high levels of nitrates or phosphates, with only one sample site showing low concentrations. They have mapped all of their analyses from 2016 to 2024, and this showed high and medium levels of pollution in Bath. But what negative effects do these high nutrient levels have? To find out, we talked with chemical engineer Dr. Yanis Venk, who is an expert in water pollution.
My name is Dr. Yanis Venk. I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Chemical Engineering at the University of Bath. My research is broadly water treatment and also the fate of contaminants in the environment.
When we talk about nutrient pollution in water, exactly, do you know what kind of nutrients we're referring to?
Yeah, if you talk about nutrient pollution in water, you typically speak about two major nutrients, which are phosphate and nitrogen. And these nutrients, they are actually quite important for the growth in aquatic or in water systems. But if there's too many of them, they actually can pose some problems because, for example, we can then have algae growth in surface waters. And then while these algae grow, they produce a lot of oxygen. But then once they end their cycle of life, then also they may then sink to the bottom and then basically decay and thereby then use large quantities of oxygen. So that then basically can lead to aquatic life basically being devoid of oxygen. So that can be, for example, a big issue. In terms of nutrient pollution on in local communities, one problem can be, for example, for better proliferation of pathogens, or some algae, they basically produce toxins. So then even swimming can be harmful in those waters.
The downstream effects of nutrient pollution can be devastating, but what actually are the causes of high nutrient levels? Nitrates and phosphates can enter watercourses from various sources, including pesticides, fertilizers, and livestock waste from agricultural runoff. However, one of the biggest causes is sewage overflows from major water companies. The issues with nutrient pollution have been recognised at a national level, with the government and various companies pledging to keep water pollution in check. Wessex Water is a company which have a great impact on local nutrient levels. One major monitoring scheme that Wessex Water have implemented is their Coast and Rivers Watch. This maps storm overflow locations all across the southwest of England and shows when they are actively discharging. This represents a positive movement forward in companies taking accountability and could lead to active and targeted efforts against high nutrient levels in areas that require them the most. Wessex Water release yearly pollution incident reduction plans, focusing on surveying and detecting faults of sewage infrastructure, as well as their maintenance and repair. They claim to have improved their reporting of incidents and identification of weaknesses during inclement weather events, such as Storm Eunice in 2022. But despite efforts over the years, we are still seeing cases of negligence which directly cause further problems for both our water quality and local ecology. Just this year, a failure at a pumping station resulted in sewage discharge for 54 hours and the death of 2,100 fish in a nature conservation area. Wessex Water was subsequently fined £500,000. Their reporting and repair of incidents does not impact the most important aspect of reducing pollution in the first place: prevention. Nutrient pollution is not an irreversible problem. However, it is far easier to prevent than repair. Building sufficient water treatment plants and updating the leaky sewage network will work wonders. Creating buffer strips, such as wetlands, also helps to promote biodiversity and reduce the impact of runoff, protecting the overall ecosystem, and Wessex Water have built a wetland recently. But in cases where overflow was not stopped, steps must be taken to prevent excessive algae growth or eutrophication. These are often time-consuming, but some examples include removing excess plant material from environments with high nutrient pollution, or removing nutrient-enriched soils from these locations.
in water treatment itself, there's research looking in ways on how to better degrade specifically nitrogen pollution in wastewater, so better microbial ways of degrading nitrogen fertilizers so that they do not reach surface waters. Or in the case of phosphate, there's also research going on how to recycle phosphate to use it again as a fertilizer. Because phosphate cannot be degraded, it can be just removed.
There's plenty of clear evidence that nutrient pollution is a prevalent cause of eutrophication in our waters, causing a rapid loss of biodiversity. However, it's not too late, as the cause is starting to be addressed. But what can we do to help?
You can get actively involved to help protect our waterways. One key driver of sewage discharges outside of storm conditions is blocked sewers. By trying to not pour oil down your sink or flushing items such as unflushable wipes, this would help stop discharges and even lower the cost of water for households. You can also volunteer or get involved with many charities such as the Bristol Avon River Trust, the Big River Watch, or Surfers Against Sewage. You can download the Big River Watch app, which allows you to observe and survey your local waterways. By doing this, you are helping to develop a bigger picture of water health on a national level. Problems with nutrient pollution are often overlooked, which calls for strong community effort in tackling these issues. Don't let the silent surge go unnoticed. Please scan our QR code and fill out the short survey. Thank you.